My name is Nancy Kapusas, and I'm from Macomb, Michigan.
And what kind of problem did you have when you came to see us?
Many problems. My main problem, the reason I came was because of my thyroid.
So what was going on with your thyroid? What was happening?
I was just tired and just all the symptoms that comes with the low thyroid.
Were you on medication already?
Yes.
And it wasn't helping you too much?
No. And then I found out that I had fibromyalgia.
And how did that affect your life? And what did you feel like?
I had no life. I was so tired all the time. I was in pain that it was an effort for me to even put on a bra. I would have to lay down and rest while getting dressed. I couldn't bend down to pick things up. I ached all over my whole torso to even turn over. Even sleeping at night, to roll over was an effort.
So then how did that affect your life, being in such pain and being so tired?
I had no life. There was nothing. I didn't have the energy to go shopping, to go out with my family. And I just had a new grandson, and I couldn't even play with him and be with him the way I wanted.
So how did that make you feel?
Terrible. You don't want to live.
So what were you thinking about in regards to that?
I didn't want to live. I started thinking about ways of killing myself.
You know, you have to be very desperate when you get to that point, because you feel so horrible.
Well, along with the fatigue comes the depression with fibromyalgia.
Right.
And all of that together, it's like, what do I have to live for?
Right. So you were still searching for solutions to help, though, even though you're thinking these things. You're saying there's got to be something.
No, not really, because I'd given up hope.
Okay.
I don't trust doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in my late 20s, I was so tired all of the time. And so I made an appointment with the doctor, and I thought, finally, I'm going to find out what's wrong with me. He tells me, he just does a physical exam and tells me nothing's wrong with me.
And you feel so lousy, and you're saying you don't think anything's wrong.
And I sit there on the examining bed. I cried, and I go, I know there's something wrong with me. And he said, well, maybe you need to see a psychiatrist. And that's their answer for everything. And that's when I started to dislike doctors.
You said that there were some other things you tried besides medication to try and help with your thyroid and fibromyalgia?
I started acupuncture. And I went for a year. I started off going 3 times a week. And then after the year, I was still going once a week. And I knew it wasn't helping. And so I stopped going. I even went as far as to go to California to see an acupuncturist.
Wow.
And he was good, but I couldn't make a trip there every week.
Okay, so you had acupuncture, medication, anything else?
And lots of Chinese herbs. I would cook them myself.
Really?
Yes. And I was very busy.
So you were really trying to get better, but nothing seemed to be helping.
No, and even my husband, he couldn't stand the smell of the herbs, and I would have to cook them for about 3 hours. And it smelled terrible, but tasted even worse. And he would go, how do you do that? And I go, I want to get well.
So like you said, if you want to get better,
you'll do anything.
You'll do whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it takes to overcome obstacles when they seem insurmountable. So, nice job. Okay.
few years later, I worked with this girl that was telling me about this great doctor that had found what was wrong with her son that no other doctor could. So I went to see her. And she was the one that diagnosed me with the thyroid problem. And so thank God for her, because I wouldn't see any other doctors, so, but I trusted her.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just so much that a doctor can do.
Yeah.
And then I found Dr. Johnson
How did you find us?
on Facebook.
So tell me about that.
Well, it was an advertising, and I never checked the advertising, but there was just something about it. I said, let me see what this is about. And then you had lots of information, lots.
Yeah.
And I probably spent the next couple of hours reading. And then Dr. Johnson started sending me emails, and that he was having the seminar. So I decided to go. I liked what I heard. I liked Dr. Johnson. And so I signed up that very night to become a patient of his.
So you came in for a case review, and we said we needed to evaluate what was going on, get to the root of what was happening with you.
Yes.
So we ended up doing quite a few tests.
Yes.
And they showed stuff that other tests didn't, right?
Yes. My thyroid was the least of my problems.
Yeah. So you had, what other, in your own words, did you find that we said on the tests that was going on? What would you say?
I have lots of sensitivities
Okay, to
to foods,
foods.
and which never did I think that could be. And come to find out, that is one of my biggest problems.
So I had you do something for about 21 days, the very first part about what we did, right? We had you get rid of a lot of different foods out of your diet.
Yes.
And you came back and you were crying. I remember you were sitting in the little chair to our right. And I asked, what's wrong? And you said...
Because I feel so much better.
Yeah, you said you didn't have pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, you hadn't not felt pain, hadn't not felt pain
Yes.
in so long that you couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
And then I told you that that was just a, we're going in the right direction and there is more to do, but, so we've been implementing changes in your diet. You've been taking supplements. Yeah, and we've been using NAET with you, right? And Budapod's allergy elimination techniques to work on some of the sensitivities.
No, not at this time.
No.
What happened was that the elimination diet, Dr. Johnson started allowing me to have one thing at a time. And when I tried eggs, I got a horrible reaction. So that's when he told me that he was going to have to change my program.
Okay, so then we started down that road. And now you can eat eggs.
Yes.
And your feather pillow doesn't bother you anymore.
No.
Right?
Right.
And we're just moving along that path right now. And how would you say your life's changed now? Can you play with your grandson?
Oh my goodness, yes. As a matter of fact, I had him yesterday.
Yeah.
And for several hours. And we had lots of fun. We went down the basement, and I was pulling him and running in the truck and running after him. We just had a ball. And less than a year ago, I didn't think that would ever be possible.
So you can go shopping, you can do other things you like to do, be
I can
outside.
do anything.
Yay.
Yes.
So that's good. So how did you think the staff treated you while you're here?
The staff is great. Everyone's great.
Cool. So far you're happy with your experience?
Well, yes.
It was worthwhile so far? It's a little tough to do, right? Not the easiest thing in the world.
No, it's not easy, but when you want it, you'll do anything to get it.
Right. And now after the fact, you can see it's all been worthwhile.
Yes.
The end result is worth the temporary hardship of what you had to change in your diet and so forth. Yeah.
Yes.
Good. So, what would you say about, if someone was contemplating whether they should seek help for fibromyalgia or thyroid issues in, looking at a different way other than the typical medications and so forth?
Tell them to come to see you.
Yeah.
The medications does not work.
Well, that's great.
There's two main medications, and I took both of them, and neither one of them work.
Well, good. Well, I'm so happy that you came and that you took that step forward, came to the seminar, and learned, and then made your own decisions, decide that there was some hope, and that you made the changes you needed, and now you're feeling great, and we've got a little bit of way to go, but as far as comparing from less than a year ago to now, huge difference.
Well, at one time you asked what I expected in 3 months. Well, it's been a little bit more than 3 months, but never did I expect to be feeling like this.
Cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
You bet.